guys, so welcome to part 2 of the accounting equation discussion. So last time, na-discuss na natin yung definitions ng assets, liabilities, equity, pati introduction to the accounting equation. So to recap, the fundamental accounting equation states that asset is equal to liabilities plus equity. So dito sa next activity na sasagutan natin, there are set of transactions wherein we have to give the effect of those on the assets, liabilities, and the proprietorship of the business or the equity. So, meron na siyang sample dito sa number 1 wherein John Lee invested 40,000 pesos cash for the business. So, kung makikita nyo sa sample, tulad ng ginawa natin na nakaraan, we need to identify first ano ba yung mga accounts na affected dito. So, in this first transaction, merong investment na ginawa yung owner ng business. Which means, going back to the definition, 'di ba? If there is investment, so there is equity transaction. Any investment-related transactions made by the owner to the business, we will record that as equity. Or, dito sa activity na to, the term used was proprietorship. So, gawa natin siya ng table dun sa sheets natin. Mag-add tayo ng sheet dito. So, gawa natin ng table para hindi tayo malito. Ayan. So, insert tayo dito. So, number 1, ayan yon. And then, we have, usog natin sa baba. So, we have here the assets, the liabilities, and the equity. So, as I mentioned, we will identify the effects. So, kung nag-increase ba siya or decrease. Ayan, tapos duplicate na lang natin tong mga to. Ayan. So, since again, sabi ko nga, investment siya that the owner made to the business, that would mean that the owner's proprietorship will increase by 40,000 pesos. So, ilagay natin siya sa equity, increase, 40,000 pesos. So, ayusin natin yung numbers para mas madaling makita. Ayan. Okay. So, since kaya nag-increase yung equity ni owner, kasi nga nag-invest siya ng cash, 40,000 to the business. Going back to the definitions that we have discussed in the last video, pag merong mga resources na na-receive si business or na-acquire si business arising from previous transactions, measurable in terms of money, and magpo-provide sa business of future economic benefit like yung cash, asset yon. So, ilalagay natin siya as increase dun sa asset ni business, 40,000 pesos. Yan. So, number 2, both for cash, 28,000 of office equipment. So, bumili for cash si owner ng office equipment worth 28,000 pesos. So, yung office equipment na binili, of course, nag-arise siya dun sa transaction na bumili si owner, and then, merong value na binigay dito. So, we can measure that office equipment in terms of money, which is 28,000 nga. And that office equipment will be used by the business in its operations in the future after mabili yun, syempre. So, that means that this office equipment will increase the asset of the business. So, ilalagay natin siya as increase in asset by 28,000 pesos. And based din dito sa transaction, binili siya for cash. So, that would mean yung cash ni business mababawasan ng 28,000 pesos. So, same din ng category kung saan natin siya ilalagay, however, decrease. So, 28,000 pesos. So, paano ba natin i-check kung tama yung sagot natin? Going back to the fundamental accounting equation, assets is equal to liabilities plus equity. Kukumputa natin siya, kaya nga siya nasa Google Sheets. So, tignan natin. So, para mag-compute niyan, gagawin natin, 'di ba, assets. So, yung mga increases na yan, gawin natin to negative kasi decrease nga eh. Wait lang. Gawin natin siya minus. Para pag nilagyan natin ang formula dito sa Google Sheets, mas madali nating maka-counter check kung tama yung sagot natin. Yan. So, gawin natin assets. So, lahat na nasa assets, pag-add natin yan, increase, tsaka yung decrease. In-add ko siya kasi nga ginawa nating negative, 'di ba? So, is equal to liabilities plus yan. Dapat mag-equal sila. So, ito yung left side, ito yung right side. Yan natin ng highlight. There. Para hindi tayo malito. So, checking lang to, checking. Lagyan natin ng label, checking. Ganyan. Para alam nyo kung tama yung sagot nyo or hindi. So, yung left side, yung accounting equation, ito dapat equal siya sa right side, which is liabilities plus equity. So, lalagay natin dito, si liabilities, ipag-add natin. Ito yung liability side plus yung equity side. Ayan. Ayan. So, dapat equal sila lagi. So, let's see kung tama din yung next answer natin. I-drag down lang natin yung sagot natin hanggang dito sa baba. Ayan. Ayan, o 'di ba? So kung makikita nyo, yung result dito, increase in asset and decrease in asset. So ang effect niya on the left and the right side is 0. Kasi nga, nadagdagan yung asset, nabawasan din ng same amount, 28,000 pesos. So pareho lang. So parang in the end, wala siyang effect in total. There. So next, number 3. Sagutan natin ulit yung number 3. So, receive 2,500 cash for repairing machine of mine company. So, siguro from this transaction, we can tell that ang business ni John Lee is repairs, about repairs. So, kung nag-receive siya ng 2,500 pesos cash, remember, cash, di ba, is asset. So, that means madadagdagan yung asset niya ng 2,500 pesos. So, maglagay tayo dito ng increase 2,500 pesos. Okay. And then, bakit siya nag-receive ng 2,500 pesos cash? Kasi nag-repair siya ng machine ni mine company. So, kung yun yung business niya, ibig sabihin, by repairing machine, doon siya kumikita. So, that means, mag-i-increase si revenue. 'Di ba? Walang revenue dito. Assets, liabilities, and equity lang. So, balikan natin yung discussion natin na nakaraan. Saan ba papasok si revenue? So, dito sa discussion natin, si revenue is under equity. So, pag nagkakaroon ng revenue, nag-i-increase earnings si business. So, therefore, kapag kumita si business, yung investment ni owner dun sa business na yun, tataas din kasi nga kumita si business. So, that means kapag may revenue or income, tataas si equity. So, ilalagay natin siya as increase as well in equity. Ayan. So, i-check natin kung equal ba sila. Dapat equal yan eh. Kasi nga assets, which is on the left side, is equal to liabilities plus equity, which is on the right side. So, kung makikita natin, equal sila. This means tama yung sagot natin. So, next, number 4. So, number 4, we have here, bought additional equipment from Gen Corporation on credit, 2,300 pesos. So, bumili siya ng additional equipment. Remember, kapag bumili ng equipment, di ba, mag-i-increase yung asset in terms of the equipment. So, here, in this transaction, maglalagay tayo ng increase in equipment at 2,300 pesos. Ngayon, paano niya na-avail yung equipment na yun? Let's take note of the term here, on credit. Which means, hindi niya binili ng cash yun. He bought it on credit. So, which tells us that inutang niya yung equipment na yon, which will cause him to settle that obligation in the future. So that means itong utang na to is a liability, an obligation that John Lee has acquired that he needs to settle in the future. So ilalagay natin siya as increase, tumaas yung utang niya in liability, 2,300. So again, check natin kung equal sila. So equal. So which means tama tayo dyan. Number 5. So number 5, asa na yon? Ayan. Paid 750,000 for light and water. Water, wow. So, nagbayad siya ng 750,000 pesos lang. 750 pesos for light and water. So, kung binayaran niya yon, that means mag-decrease yung cash niya. And again, cash is an asset. So, ilalagay natin dito, decrease in asset. Siyempre, dahil decrease, minus yan, 750. Para saan yung 750 na binayaran niya? Nagbayad siya ng light and water. Kasi nga, nag-consume siya ng kuryente and water para sa business niya. So, papasok siya sa expenses. So, again, these are items used up or consumed by the business. Kaya niya nga babayaran kasi kinonsume niya yung services na yun. And when the business incurs expenses, of course, mababawasan yung kita ni business. Which means, pag may expenses, si equity magdi-decrease. So, lalagay natin siya as decrease in equity. So, minus 750. So, check natin. Parehong negative 750 on the left and on the right side. So, tama tayo dyan. Next number 6. So, Build Mars Company, 12,000 for repair services. So, binil niya si Mars Company. Ibig sabihin, nag-render si John Lee ng repair services kay Mars worth 12,000 pesos. Pero hindi sinabi dito na na-receive niya yung payment, unlike dun sa transaction number 3. Binil niya lang si Mars Company. So, ibig sabihin dito, na-render niya na yung service kay Mars Company. However, si Mars Company hindi pa nagbabayad. So, which means na magkakaroon dito ngayon ng income si business, si John Lee, kahit hindi pa siya bayad. Kasi nga na-render niya yung service eh. Guys, take note of that na kapag na-render nyo na yung service, kung service company kayo, automatic income agad yon, whether payment was already received or not. Kasi nga na-render mo na eh. Si customer, wala siyang magagawa dahil na-render mo na yung service, he or she really has to pay for the service that the business has already rendered to them. So, we will recognize that as revenue or income. And again, pag may revenue or income, tataas si equity. So, ilalagay natin siya as increase in equity at 12,000 pesos. Okay? So, ngayon, wala namang cash na na-receive, di ba? Walang cash na na-receive. However, si business, nag-expect siya na babayaran siya ni customer. And babayaran talaga siya ni customer in the future. So, balikan natin. Okay? So, shortcut na natin to. That will become an asset to the business. Kung babalikan natin yung discussion in our previous video, we have accounts receivable under assets. Yung mga ganong transactions na binil na-render na yung service pero hindi pa binayaran ni customer, that is considered as an accounts receivable, which is an asset. Paano nga ulit siya naging asset? Just to review, merong previous transaction dito, which is nga si business nag-render na ng service. And yung service na render niya, of course, measurable in terms of money. Yun nga yung 12,000 pesos. And yung future economic benefit dito is yung fact na babayaran siya ni customer in the future. So, ilalagay natin siya as increase in asset, 12,000 pesos. So, ganun siya. So, again, checking, 12,000 on the left, 12,000 on the right. So, we're right. Char. Next. So, number 7. So, on number 7, John Lee, si owner, withdraws 7,500 from the business for personal use. So, remember, nag-invest si John Lee dito sa business. Ngayon, on transaction number 7, nag-withdraw siya. ng investment niya from the business. So as I said before, kapag merong investment-related transaction, si owner and si business, papasok siya as equity. And since this is a withdrawal, mababawasan yung equity ni owner. Okay? So, that means babawasan natin ng 7,500 yung investment ni owner or yung equity ni owner dito. And ano ba yung winidraw niya? Of course, yung 7,500 na yan, cash yan, pera yan. Kukuha siya ng pera dun sa business niya. Which means, mababawasan yung asset niya or yung cash niya ng 7,500 pesos din. Okay? So again, checking negative 7,500 on the left side, negative 7,500 on the right side. So tama tayo dyan. Next is number 8. So collected 4,500 from Mars Company as partial settlement of it on number 6 transaction. Of its account, kulang ng S, its account on number 6 transaction. So, kung dun sa number 6, nag-recognize tayo ng increase in accounts receivable, which is an asset, dito dahil na-collect niya na yung 4,500 pesos, babawasan natin yung accounts receivable niya ng 4,500 pesos. So, magiging decrease siya in asset ng 4,500. Ngayon, na-receive niya yung 4,500 na yun from the customer, si Mars Company, in cash. So, mag-i-increase naman si cash dito, which is another asset, ng 4,500 pesos. So, checking left on the right side, no effect at all. Okay? So, number 9. Paid 2,500 wages for the laborers. So, nagbayad siya ng pasahod niya sa mga tao niya. So, mababawasan yung cash niya ng 2,500. Since pasahod yon sa mga tao niya, that means nagamit niya yung service ng mga laborers na yon. Nag-consume siya ng service ng tao. So, that means that will be considered or recognized as an expense. Yun yung kinonsume niya dito, yung service ng tao. So, i-recognize natin yan as decrease in equity na 2,500. Yan. So, again, checking, pantay si left and right. So, tama yan. So, number 10. Ayan. So, number 10 transaction natin is paid rent for the month, for the space amounting to 4,250 pesos. So, mag-compute tayo dito ng 4,000, compute. Ibig sabihin, mababawasan pala rather yung cash niya ng 4,250 kasi nga babayaran niya yung rent eh. So, magbawas tayo ng asset ng 4,250 pesos. And since nagamit niya yung rent, the fact that he used that office space, nag-consume siya ng right dun sa pag-use ng office space, babawasan din natin yung equity ng 4,250 pesos para dun sa expense ng rent. Okay? So, checking again, 4,250, tama. Now, let us get the totals para ma-check din natin dito sa dulo, after those 10 transactions, kung balance pa ba yung left and right side ng equation natin. So, i-total natin lahat ng assets. So, madali lang dito sa Google Sheets eh. Pag gumamit kayo ng Google Sheets, yung iba naman dyan naka-online class, pwede kayong gumamit ng Google Sheets or Microsoft Excel. Alam ko yung iba alam na to, pero dun sa hindi pa nakakaalam, just type in equal sign, type sum, open parentheses, i-highlight mo yung transactions 1 to 10 or yung cells B3 to B12, i-close mo, ayan na yung total niya. So, gayahin lang natin for the next columns. Tingnan natin kung pantay sila. Kung makikita nyo, pantay naman. So, ayan na yon. Which, kung double check natin, tama yung sagot natin. So, since mga accountant tayo, i-double rule natin yung final answer natin. So, you have here the left side of the equation for the totals, 41,800 pesos. On the right side, meron kaming 41,800 pesos, which means you have balanced the equation. There. So, that is for our part 2. So if you have again questions, just type it in the comment section below. And for the next topic, if you are still interested, or you can subscribe and hit the notifications bell to be updated for our uploads. Thank you.